Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Tash. I am a medical doctor and a natural healing enthusiast. On this channel, we cover topics about healing the mind, the body, and the soul, right? The spirit. So if you are new to my channel, please do click on that subscribe button. We are on the road to 15,000 subscribers, guys. I'm so excited. You guys. Like, just yesterday we were on 10K, and when I checked my analytics this morning, listen, we are gunning for 15K, right? So please do subscribe. Please don't forget to tell your mama, tell your father, tell your daddy, tell your auntie, tell everyone to please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can actually get my updates when I actually upload. Excited for this topic, and as you can tell by the title of this video, the topic for today is food is medicine. Right, so as you guys know, I actually started a food is medicine playlist that was about 2 years ago on this channel, and I really just always had this, sort of like inclination, more specifically when it comes to the food and our relationship with food as humans, right? And I started the playlist on my channel called Food is Medicine, really to educate people about food, right? Because I actually realized that there is such a disconnect when it comes to the types of food that we eat, more especially the societies you are born into, the environments that we are born into. We've got such a misconstrued sort of relationship with food, and I was hoping that my playlist Food is Medicine would actually go out there and inspire people and give people more of an insight into realizing that there are alternative ways of eating, and educating people about the importance that food actually plays in the mind, the body, and the soul. You guys know that I moved to China a couple of years ago, and it's been over 6 years living in China, right? I am a South African born. I studied and worked there, and then I realized that, okay, I've got a passion to help people, and I want to pursue medicine. And then fast forward, I landed up in China, where I completed my medical degree, my MBBS degree, and living here for such a long time, living here for more than 6 years now. I came to realize a lot of things about food and eating. So I thought that I was actually coming to China to get a physical education, right, of which I did, but I actually got a worldly education, right? And I started realizing, and when I got integrated more in Chinese culture, I started learning about their relationship with food, and I started attending more, Chinese dinner parties and seeing what it is that they actually eat on their tables, right? And don't get me wrong, I love South African food, I love home cooked food, but I actually realized that, in some way, form, shape or form, there is sometimes, a little disconnection and a little misinformation, right, when it comes to, what's actually nutritious for us, and the types of foods that we are, you know, really supposed to be eating. So learning about Chinese culture and learning, you know, what types of food they ate, right? When I sat around Chinese tables, I always realized two things, right? The first thing is that they always have a balanced diet. What does a balanced diet mean? It means that a balanced diet is a diet that includes all of the major food groups, right? So a balanced diet would include some good carbohydrates, right? A balanced diet would include some protein, right? A balanced diet would include some, you know, some fats, right? And, you know, we can also, you know, break it down into, you know, the necessary vitamins, etc., nutrients and all sorts, right? So the major food groups are carbohydrates, proteins, and, you know, fats. And I realized that actually on every Chinese table, the way they authentically eat, they've always got these major food groups, and it's always in proportion. So Chinese guys will have like their grains, they will have like rice, or they could have like beans, right, which is a very good source of carbohydrates, but also at the same time serves as a good source of protein, right? So they always have protein like on their table, always. They'll have, you know, Chinese love pork. They'll have either chicken or fish, you know, or, you know, some type of maybe egg, right? And they will always have a vegetable on their table. And the other thing that I saw coming here is that, you know, mostly when you walk into Chinese restaurants and when you actually go to, you know, Chinese dinner tables, once again, they will definitely serve you sort of, number one, it's either broth, right? So broth meaning like, you know, the broth that is made, a soup made from sort of like steaming or boiling, you know, your meat. Or they will serve you, right, some sort of a tea. So whether that be jasmine tea, whether that be green tea, it is always just within their culture to serve tea on a table. You will never ever go to a Chinese restaurant or a house and they do not serve you tea on a table. Through seeing that and seeing how different people eat, that actually made me reevaluate my relationship with food, and that was about 2 years ago. Started doing more research. I became really interested in you know, food being medicine, and I went on a vegan journey myself 2 years ago. You know, it was very eye-opening, it was very difficult, but at the same time very necessary. This is how, you know, I actually got here, is to realizing that, you know, our relationship to food as humans is flawed, right? And growing up, we used to eat because we were hungry, and there was not a lot of education around, you know, food. However, I must add that, you know, for me, eating fruits and vegetables came naturally because I did grow up on a farm, and my dad was a farmer, right? And he believed in natural growing your food from the ground, and he believed in breeding like your own poultry, right? So eating naturally from the ground and eating, you know, things that actually grow on the earth also stemmed from a very young age. But when I came to China, it actually just catapulted the idea even more to actually making me realize that, you know what, we need to take this food issue very seriously, you know. And in what I've learned also in medicine, I realized that, you know, there are a lot of key components when it comes to food. The relationship that we have with food, or rather the dietary habits that we have with food, actually influence the risk, right, of diseases in the human body. And throughout my study in medicine, you know, this has been proven, and I got to see, you know, what is the link, what is the correlation between, you know, the foods that we eat and disease right in the body. And I also came across somebody called Dr. Sebi, right, the late Dr. Sebi, who was a great, I think he was a chemist, he was a natural healer, he was also a herbologist, right? and he used to talk about how eating actually, you know, can either cure disease, or it can actually catapult and influence the risk of disease in the body. I hope that this video is going to inspire someone out there to realize that, you know, there is more to food than just eating. We do not just eat because we want to enjoy. I know food is enjoyable, but food plays a very, very vital role when it comes to the mind, the body, and the spirit, most importantly. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 benefits of food being medicine. So I actually want to start off the segment, right, by quotes that I actually took from the late Dr. Sebi, right? So he always used to preach about food being medicine, right? And one of the quotes that he always used to say is, if nature didn't make it, don't take it. Let me get into the 7 benefits of using food as your medicine. Number 1, this is a big one. Food helps in weight loss. Okay, eating the correct food will help you in your weight loss, because we need to realize that food plays a very important role within the body, right? Food controls the hormones, it controls the electrochemical pathways in your body. So this will either help you in weight loss, or it will actually prevent your weight loss, depending on what type of foods you're eating. A lot of us are eating everything and anything, and we're complaining about, you know, why we cannot lose weight. The second benefit of using food as your medicine is that, so the food that you eat can actually improve your heart health, right? So if you are somebody who's constantly eating fried foods, you're eating fatty foods, you're eating fast foods, those kinds of foods are generally high in fats and cholesterol, right? And cholesterol is linked to heart disease, right? Because cholesterol, it has the ability to block your vessels, which can lead to things like myocardial ischemia, or what we know as, you know, a stroke. It prevents the blood from actually flowing, right? So this is why it's important to stay away from fast food, stay away from fried chicken, stay away from pizzas, stay away from the burgers, right? They are not good. They are filled with fat, they are filled with cholesterol, and you are increasing your risk of having heart disease at a much younger age. Eating the correct type of foods can help to increase your immunity. What does immunity mean, Dr. Tash? Right, so to put it in simple terms, everyone is born with an immunity, right? Having a healthy immune system helps you to fight, right, against disease, right? So you could think of immunity as those natural soldiers, right, that your body has. They help you to fight against pathogens, right, which are just like foreign bodies and foreign things. So the more attacks you have, the more they are also able to fight back, right? So we have these natural soldiers, right, within the body, which is encompassed in this immune system. So if your soldiers are tired, right, and your soldiers are, you know, they're chilling there on the sideline and they're like, there's nothing that we can do. They're not going to be able to fight disease, right? So it's very important to build up your immunity so that you have a strong defense system against disease. And how do we build up our immunity? One of the most important ways is to eat the correct foods, because they are filled with vitamins, they are filled with minerals, right? They are filled with things that will actually help you to actually help you fight against opportunistic diseases, you know, even things like flu, right? If you have a strong immunity, you're not going to fall sick. That is a fact. I've been staying in China for 6 years. I'm always eating fruits and vegetables. I'm eating herbs, right? I love herbs, guys. I like finding out about herbs. Herbs are things that grow in nature. They are things that God made, right? And they are found within nature, right? So I'm always researching about like different herbs. What do these herbs do, etc., etc. The importance of certain herbs on the earth. And I can tell you, I've been living in China, by the way, where COVID started. I have never tested positive for COVID. Never, ever, ever, ever. I don't know where it is that this COVID has been passing me. I've moved, you know, from city to city. Never caught COVID, not even once. And I believe it's because I have a very strong immune system. I eat the correct vegetables. I eat fruits. I love my fruits. I love herbs. I'll incorporate certain supplements, you know, like vitamin C within my eating. So having and building a strong immunity will help you to even fight against things like COVID. So I've always been that person. I've always been a natural healing enthusiast, which is why I advocate so hard, you know, for this type of content. So yes, eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, you know, take your supplements, your vitamins, take your herbs. They're filled with a lot of nutrients and a lot of things that can actually help you to build up your immune system. The fourth benefit of using food as your medicine is that eating the correct foods will actually help you to boost your brain health. Nowadays, you are seeing a lot of people undergoing depression. You are seeing a lot of people undergoing sort of like you know, disorders like bipolar disorder. And you realize, what is the increase, you know, in this phenomenon? Why are a lot of people, you know, taking their lives? Why are a lot of people being suicidal? Part of the problem is that it's the food that we're eating, right? Part of the problem is that we're on fast foods, we're on drugs and alcohol, right? And this can only ultimately lead to depression. This can only ultimately lead to bipolar disorder, because food has a direct correlation with the brain health, right? And if you're not healthy up here, how do you expect to be healthy in your body? You know, how do you expect to feel enthusiastic? How do you expect to feel full of life? Right? So it is important to reevaluate your relationship with food. And even in the medical practice, right, they do use something called food therapy to help patients that are going through disorders like bipolar, depression, and eating disorders, right? Because it's all about that relationship with food. The food that we eat controls the hormones that in our body. It's like an entire circuit. So if you don't have, you know, a healthy brain, the brain cannot, you know, speak to your heart cannot speak to, you know, the vessels and the rest of, you know, your organs. You're gonna have dysfunctions, right, within your entire body, right? So food boosts your brain health. Eating the correct food does give you a whole lot of energy, right? And it also does improve your mood. 6 points that I'm going to make is my favorite, right? So number 6 is that using food as your medicine improves your skin. I said skin. I guys know, this one is a known fact, right? So the skin is the major organ found in the body. It plays a very vital role in protecting your body and just, you know, overall a whole lot of functions within the body. You want to have glowing skin? Eat your fruits and vegetables. Drink a whole lot of water. You know, it's all those little things. Take your vitamins, guys. You know, food is very important in that. And if you're constantly eating fatty foods, you're on a high carb diet, you're not getting the nutrients that you need, those things are going to show up in your face, because food controls the hormones, you know, and certain hormones are increased or perpetuated when we eat certain foods. And so all of that will show up on your face. Number 7, food is important for your soul, right? The food that we eat impacts our spiritual growth. If you are a spiritual person like myself, you will know this very well. There's a reason why in the Bible, whenever people wanted to connect to the spiritual realm, they would fast. You know, there's a reason for all those things. There's a reason why you need to rid of yourself of certain foods. It's because certain foods have, you know, they block you from actually connecting, right, to the spiritual realm. Most importantly, the point that I made in number 4, you know, the brain, right? So if you're blocked in a brain sense, there's something called the pineal gland, right? Which is how a lot of people get to, you know, see in spirit, and this is how a lot of people get to have visions and dreams and stuff like that. So if your pineal gland is blocked, you won't be able to connect, right, on a spiritual level. You cannot have a thriving spiritual life and you're eating burgers, you're eating fried foods, you're eating, you know, all those things are actually blocking you from connecting, right, to the divine. Which is why also in a lot of spiritual practices, even when you go online, they will preach about, you know, the importance of eating fresh foods, the importance of eating things that grow in nature, you know, if you really want to, you know, get connected to that side of life. So food impacts the mind, the body, and the spirit. I really hope you enjoyed this segment of Food is Medicine on my channel, Naturally Dr. Tash. Please do not forget to subscribe. We are on the road to 15K, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. I hope you find a home. Remember that eating well and living well is a form of self-respect. So respect yourself.